Hello and thank you for joining me today for this video. I am so sorry it's been a while, and I'm not really sorry because I'm also forgiving and compassionate to myself. It's been a crazy year, but I'm really happy to be back and film this video for you. And this video is actually something I'm a bit embarrassed to say, but this is probably my third time recording this video. Not today, just in general, because I already filmed this video I think like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was before I even launched my brand. And then by the time I went to edit it, I was like, I can't believe I filmed a whole like pin-up and like vintage inspired makeup video, and I can't even feature my lipstick in it because it was before it was even really something I intended to do. So I like scratched that. Then I filmed another video, and then by the time also I went to edit it, I already had a bunch of other products out, so I was a bit sad I couldn't use them in the video. So ever since then a lot has happened. Yes, so I have a brand, and it's like my main focus in life right now is my makeup brand Dafna Beauty. And besides that, I moved to the US, and that was like a whole roller coaster. I had to like move my business, basically open a new business, start from scratch, design a boutique, like all the interior design, hire people. Like it's been like crazy and a lot of new things. And the biggest thing was like the visa process was like a whole like scary thing of its own, and all the uncertainty and moving, like living in an apartment, moving to a new apartment. Anyway, just to like quickly recap why my life has been crazy. But now I'm here in my cute apartment in Las Vegas, and I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to be in the US. I'm happy to be in Vegas specifically. It's a really cool and crazy city. It's just like a great vintage and pinup and burlesque community. So I really feel at home here, which I guess is like a big thing when you move across the world to like another place. But I feel really good being here, so hopefully I'll be able like to create more content now that my life is a bit more stable. At the same time, if you wish to support me and support me creating content, please support my brand. I'm gonna be using a lot of my products, or you're gonna be seeing them and see how amazing they are. So if you're needing anything, eyeliner, mascara, any amazing lipsticks, lashes, anything like that, please, if you feel like it, please support my brand. We ship worldwide, and everything is vegan, cruelty-free, and I put a lot of thought into every single product. So obviously all of them are amazing. I totally forgot to say, my name is Dafna. I'm a professional makeup artist and hairstylist and a beauty brand owner. So let's talk about this video. So the reason I filmed this a couple of times is because I feel like this video is like a big one, like an important one, because I actually walk you through the whole process of doing my like pinup makeup. I'm gonna explain what pinup is in a second. But basically I'm revealing everything and showing you step by step how I get to this look, which is like a makeup I do pretty much every time I dress up for like a photo shoot. It's like my go-to makeup basically, so it was important to me like to film a really good video. But I'm like trying to be less perfectionist about it, so whatever I film today is gonna be good enough no matter what, even though the lighting keeps changing and everything. But I really hope you find this video useful. So basically pinup is just like a subculture that is kind of like an homage, let's say, to the glamour girls of the 50s. It just comes from the word to pin up, like to take a photo and pin it up. I'm not gonna go into like the whole history and everything, but just to recap what it literally means. But it's basically inspired by like glamour girls. Oh my god, with my accent. It's inspired by like all the Hollywood, Marilyn Monroe, all the starlets of that era. So it's basically a 50s makeup, but a bit elevated, a bit more like a whole already thing of its own. It's very like camera ready. So big lips, big eyes, like pretty bold, but at the same time you're gonna see like I don't put a lot of like foundation or do a lot or any contouring. So it is pretty soft in some ways and kind of bold in other ways. So that's why I feel like I really like this makeup. So I hope you find this video useful and that you learn some new tips and tricks. And of course, if you have any questions, comment below. And let's go on and start the tutorial. I start with a clean face and I apply sunscreen. This is like my one skincare tip, is always use sunscreen. Next I use a concealer. I'm starting with the concealer because I'm gonna be doing airbrush foundation. So I'm using the Tarte, I don't know how you say it, I hope that's the correct pronunciation. It's really good, it's like really good coverage and it dries down. I really like it personally. And I blend it out with a beauty blender. I really have to make sure it's completely blended out before I continue to the airbrush because I can't go back after that. I also apply concealer in some spots that I feel like could use brightening up a little bit. Next, I move on to the foundation. I'm using Temp to Air to apply my foundation, and the actual product I'm using is their SB foundation, and I'm mixing two shades that just bring me to my perfect match of the best shade for me. This way I can also kind of change it up a bit as the seasons change and according to my needs. I apply foundation through airbrush with circular motions and kind of build it up as I go. I also like to let it dry a bit before I move on to the powder, so at this stage I usually go, have a drink and come back a few minutes later. In this video I'm using the One Size Pink powder. This is the first time I'm using it, so it's a bit experimental. To be honest, I didn't like it too much. Maybe I'm just too fair for this shade, but I ended up getting the translucent one and I use it a lot, so I do really recommend this product in general. I like powdering kind of loosely, not too heavy, but at the same time, as you can see, I'm kind of checking to make sure my foundation isn't sticky at all. Something was weird this day because usually at this point I would do my blush, but I did move on to the eyes first. So I'm applying an eyeshadow base. This one is by Kiko. It's pretty good, really affordable, and you have to make sure you blend it really well and pretty fast. Here I'm actually using an eyeshadow from my new product, which is the pastel eyeshadow palette. So this is quite revealing because it shows you that I was actually filming this when I only had samples and I didn't actually have the finished product, and this week I just launched it. So this kind of gives away how much I procrastinated editing this video. But the good news is that you can actually already purchase this product if you like this shade or in general pastel shades. So I'm using also our eyeshadow brush. It's called Vivid Dream because the palette is called Mid-Century Pastel Dream. Vivid because it allows you to really pack on product and make the eyeshadow as saturated as possible. And I apply it through the whole eyelid area where actually like the eyeball is. Sorry for the gross description, but that's basically the line I'm following. Next, I'm applying a bit of a white eyeshadow to the inner corners. You definitely don't have to do that because the pink is pretty light already, but if you're very fair and you would like a bit of more highlight, you can see here how I do that, and I kind of blend it out into the pink. Next, you can take a medium shade, kind of like a mauve like I'm using, or a gray, a brown, something very like medium in darkness, and I kind of just follow my crease, blend it out as I go. I don't have to be very precise because the area where the pink is already kind of set and already kind of dried down the eyeshadow base. Next, I'm using a darker like burgundy kind of shade and a smaller brush to just create some shade and some dimension underneath my lower waterline. I'm using a kind of like grayish pink kind of shade to define my eyebrows a little bit more. I do get a lot of questions of how I do my eyebrow makeup, but it changes all the time so much. These days, for example, I just put concealer on them to make them lighter, so it really varies a lot. Next, finally, some more like pinup related makeup. We're doing eyeliner. I'm gonna be using my liquid liner from my brand. It's quite amazing, as you're gonna see. And I'm gonna be doing a pretty dramatic eyeliner, and I'm starting by just continuing my lower waterline and imagining where it would continue to in a very straight line, and then from the outside corner I'm going in and creating kind of like a triangle shape, and then I'm starting to just follow my upper lash line and gradually connecting it to this outer triangle. I make sure to fill in all the way to the lashes so it's completely blackened. And then I am very carefully tracing my inner corner of my upper lashes. I go in very thin and I just gradually thicken it to connect to the rest of the eyeliner. Next, I am applying mascara. This beautiful mascara is also from my brand, if you can tell by the branding. I start off by applying the mascara from the top part of the lashes to make sure there's no traces of eyeshadow that makes the lashes look kind of light. I really want them to be as black as possible. And then I go from underneath the lashes and push them up as the mascara dries. Then I also apply mascara to the lower lashes. Again, I'm doing things in kind of a weird order. I usually do the lower lashes after I already applied lashes. And now I went back to apply blush, which again I usually do before the eyes. So I use my Rose Glow palette, which is a blush and highlighter palette. It's fabulous. I know this blush color looks pretty intimidating if you haven't tried these kinds of shades before, but as you're gonna see, it translates to a pretty soft pink and you only need a little bit and it really goes a long way. That's why I apply to the brush and then I take some off on my hand just to make sure I come with not so much product and I kind of build it up as I go. I am using quite a lot of blush, but just very much step by step and not all at once. Next, I apply our beautiful highlighter. I'm using the same brush. It's a really nice brush for both. I kind of focus on the fullest part of the cheek just because it creates a more like cute and like flirty kind of look, which I think is perfect for like a pinup look. Next, I'm gonna apply false lashes. No pinup look is complete without false eyelashes, I'm sorry to say. I am using our Poodle collection lashes, which come in this cute compact. I'm using the style Drama. I already pre-cut them to fit my eyes the best way. I feel like that's a really important tip for applying false lashes. After applying a thin layer of dual lash adhesive, I'm applying it starting from the outer corner, making sure it's exactly where I want it to be, then gently pressing it in the center area of the eye, and lastly in the inner corners of the eyes. And then as the adhesive dries, I kind of push down, especially on the outer and inner corners, which tend to be the more problematic areas. I'm gonna emphasize a beauty mark using a bobby pin. It's a trick I learned from watching a video by Pinup Palmer, and this trick is so good and it creates a perfect round beauty mark. Next, I'm applying a beige pencil to my waterline. This beige is not quite light enough to my liking, so I am setting it with a white eyeshadow just to create something between a white and a beige. And we arrived to the best part of any pinup makeup, the lipstick, and of course I chose the perfect red. This is the first product I ever launched, so it still holds a special part in my heart. Although we already have so many lipsticks that are becoming like fast bestsellers, I still find this lipstick to be my go-to because it's so smooth, so easy to apply. It's like such a good shade of red, a true red, not cold, not warm, just what I need when I want a red and I don't want to think about it too much. I'm using our double-ended lip brush to apply it, so that's why I put some on my hand and then I use the brush to dip it in and outline my upper lip, and I am kind of overdrawing my lip. I'm trying to create kind of like a heart shape and trying to make it as symmetrical as possible. Sorry, I don't know why, but my lower lip was done off camera, so the next step would be to fill in your lips after you outline them, and I am using the wider part of the brush for that. As you can see, it's so saturated, like one layer and it's done. So I just make sure everything is filled, and I try to do everything in one single layer so it feels the best and very lightweight on the lips. And I do make sure the outer corners of my lips are perfect and just everything is very solid and symmetrical. The red lips are definitely the star of this look, so make sure to leave enough time to perfect them, and you don't really need a lot of eyeshadow. As you can see, we are letting the red lips really shine. So obviously this is the finished result. You already saw it in the beginning of the video. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and let me know if you have any questions or any requests, or if you're just happy I'm back, and hopefully I'll make some more videos soon. Also, I have some new products launching in the next like few months that I'm like super excited about. So definitely I will be back for that, to reveal them and to like do tutorials with them. So stay tuned for that as well. And again, thank you for staying around, and thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Kisses!